Well, I don't really think anything other than a success can be the label for this season. We won the Premier League at the first time of asking with Arsenal, won the Carabao Cup, and we've also got to the FA Cup final and the Champions League final. Who knew it was all that easy? Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part 9 of Club 4 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where 2 cup finals, no pressure. It is the FA Cup final against Leeds United and the Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen, who I forgot about for a second then. Which, I mean, in the nicest possible way, no disrespect to Leeds and Leverkusen fans, we are the favourites of both of these. We should be walking away with 2 trophies today. We should be walking away with a season full of success. Well, let's see whether we do. But if you're excited to see how we get on in today's video and whether we can actually go all the way and win everything, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here. By the way, batteries. Finally got some. So, since you were last with us, we won the final 3 games of the season. I'm just going to go straight into it. By the way, the camera is now on the side of the screen that it is. I'm probably going to keep it over here, purely because I feel like the majority of the time when there's information on the screen you need to see, it's usually over on that side. So I'm going to do this. It does probably mean I'm going to be looking in this direction when I'm recording, but I'm going to probably swap the monitors as to which monitor the game's on, so I will address that at some point. But anyway, enough of that nonsense. Since you were last with us, we had 3 final games of the season. It was those 3 just there. One of them being Leeds United, and we walked it, to be honest with you. 4-0 at Leeds. That was a very good performance. Martin Odegaard returning to form out of absolutely nowhere. Had a really good game. And Gabriel Martinelli getting a cheeky hat-trick as well. Leicester was a bit of a weird one because we were dominating it and then we just kind of let them back into it a little bit. But to be fair, Leicester have had a very good season, as have Leeds, but we beat them 4-2. Never really under any doubt. 3 goals, I should say, from Mathis Tel, and then Bukayo Saka getting a goal, as he then did get 2 goals in the final game as well against Crystal Palace. 2 goals for him, 1 for Mathis Tel. Job well done, although a clean sheet in one of these 2 games, and Owusu Oduro is the Golden Glove winner of the season. 1 more goal equals Mathis Tel as the top goal scorer of the season. 2 would have put him ahead of Erling Haaland, so we did miss out on those. We'll get to all of the awards and stuff in the next video, in the season review and transfer special, but I will just quickly show you how these things kind of went. So you can see Mathis Tel was the 2nd top goal scorer. Daniel Pitchford was 4th, Saka was 5th, 9th was Martinelli, and Villalba actually ended up on this list here as well. Atuesta at Wolves only getting in 18th with 12. We got more out of that guy than I think we probably had any right to. Now I'm looking at him, because he is a good player, but my word, is he inconsistent. In terms of the best players in the league, Tel, Saka, Martinelli. 5th was Pitchford, 6th was Darvic, 11th was Simic, 12th was Paniagua, 16th Villalba, 17th McRae, 18th Odegaard, and 20th Owusu Oduro. We have a very good team who've been playing very well. Assist-wise, Mathis Tel was top with 14, Darvic was 4th, Martinelli was 5th, 12 and 10 respectively, and then no one else until Waneri with 7, but that's fine. Our boy Sharquist on here with 8. I really hope we can get the funds to sign him this season, because that will make me stay at Arsenal for as long as I can possibly do. And then clean sheets, you can see it already down here, but we'll just quickly cover it. Owusu Oduro joins, but he played 2 more games than James Trafford. Although it's interesting to see how James Trafford obviously is a very good goalkeeper in this universe. So I was thinking about maybe replacing Owusu Oduro this season, to be honest with you though. If he's getting that kind of return similarly to these guys, I don't necessarily know if there's a need to be honest with you. But we'll have a think about that. It's going to depend on how much money we actually do end up having to spend, to be fair. Anyway, I've kind of dwelled on that part of it long enough. Let's get to the main event, or should I say the semi-main event, which is the FA Cup final. Remember, I did win this at Wolves, so there's not as much pressure on winning this, but I do feel like we should aim to win every trophy available to us if we are at a club. So especially at this point of the save where we are going to big clubs. So we will be doing our best to try and win this trophy, and this is the 11 that we're going to be going with. And yes, I am leaving Andrew on the bench because I want to win. It is going to be Owusu Oduro in goal, Kadioglu, Saliba, Harto and Ruggieri in defence, Gavi, Paniagua and Darvic in the middle, with Saka and Tel supporting Pitchford up front. Pitchford has struggled since he's come back from his last little injury, but he did get a good game last time, although it wasn't because he scored. He just was good in the build-up play. So I'm hoping he gets a goal today. These are the players who are missing out. Wrench, Simic, Sardea, Laskowski, Collins and Teta. I did get Laskowski some games in the last couple of games. Hopefully we'll try and get him a bit more involved next season. He has been playing consistent with the under-21, so he has hopefully been developing. But I think these three are on the chopping block next season. I think we get rid of them, bring some new players in. We've got a couple of boys who are on loan. We can bring them in, see if they're going to integrate in. But these three I think are going to be gone because I've really not been wanting to use them. Particularly Simic has been disappointing. Sardea is unlucky because he had an injury, so I can let him off a little bit. But that is the 11 we're going to go for. Or do we start Declan Rice? I don't know. We won't start Declan Rice. I'm going to start Gavi because he had a good game last time out. Let's stick with what we've got. And let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get ourselves another shiny trophy. The difficulty is going to be if we win this and then we win the Champions League, we have literally nothing to do next season other than try and do it all again. Now, the aim of the save is to win the Champions League as a manager. That's kind of the main aim of the save. But then the bonus objective, which we're more or less going to be going on to after today, if we do win the Champions League trophy, is to try and win it 3 times with 3 different clubs, which has, as of the recording of this video, never been done. So that's what we're going to be aiming to try and do. That does mean that we would need to leave Arsenal after 1 season. I don't really want to do that because I feel like we've got a project here. However, we've gone behind, so it might not necessarily get to that point. Because what I was about to say is, if we don't win the FA Cup final today, I'm quite content to stay another season to try and win it so we can tick that off the list. I'd like to win every trophy available to us at a club, as mentioned before. The one exception to that is the Club World Cup. I've got a history with that trophy. Go back on the channel, watch my Aston Villa save from the beginning of FM24, way back when. Because, yeah, I've got a history with that trophy, and it's not a good one. What on earth happened there? It's going to be a corner, so we'll see whether we can get something from this one. But yeah, every other trophy. So if we do lose the FA Cup final today, but we win the Champions League, we will do the final season just to see if we can win more trophies, but also mainly we'll be focusing on the FA Cup. And then at that point, after 2 seasons have kind of been the benchmark this season. I'll be happy to move after 2 and just see whether we can... what we can do in the summer to try and build the squad up. We're getting very unlucky with some of these chances here. We've had some good opportunities, but we're just not getting the consistency of putting them in the back of the net or even on target just at this moment in time. Looks like we're going to have a nice little free kick here. Darwich is going to take it. I'd love this to go top bins. I really would. Nearly. Okay, well, it was on target, I think. Right, Paniagua to Gavi. Gavi into Harto. Harto, who is developing quite nicely according to my coaching staff. I think this is going to end as a highlight here because we've gone backwards. Yeah, there we go. All over them. They've just got lucky with that one and only shot that they've currently had, although with the momentum there, I imagine they're going to have another one. Yeah, there it is. Right, let's encourage the boys. We're okay. 1-0 is not the end of the world. We've got loads of time left still. We're on top of them. I think we need to get an equaliser in this half, otherwise we've got a problem. Right, Saka's tackle, but he manages to keep the ball here. Gets it back into Paniagua, back to Saka. Looking for Pitchford doesn't really run much there. I need in the summer to work out what Pitchford's best position is, or best role, I should say. Is it advanced forward? Is it complete forward? Is it deep line forward? Because he has good runs in certain positions and then just doesn't completely fulfill what we want him to. However, the person who is fulfilling what we want him to is Noah Darwich, who I changed to a centre midfield on attack today. And that's looking like it's worked beautifully because Mazzala, it feels very hit and miss with him. We don't need him as a playmaker because we've got other playmakers, although next season we could address that. But that is exactly what I want from Noah Darwich, bursting forward. He did that at the start of the season really well, and it's good to see him do it now because it has put us level against Leeds. Although the first highlight after the goal is a Leeds highlight, which is a bit of a concern. Please don't tell me we're going to go 2-1. No, we're not. But that was a bit of a worry. By the way, got the tie on. Don't know if you noticed, because it is Cup Final Day. And as it's Cup Final Day with 2 Cup Finals, it deserves a level of smartness that I'm prepared to do, which is a tie. I'm not prepared to go further than a tie. I don't know if you know, it's quite hot in Britain at the moment. Right, we could do with getting another goal just before half-time. I'll take this. I'm happy with this, but if we could get another one, I'm really happy, even more so. I might change Pitchford to deep line forward in the second half. He did do First half against Crystal Palace as a centre forward, and then the second half as a deep line forward until we then subbed him. And he did do a good job as the deep line forward when we called upon him, because he's kind of like our... it's going to be a bit sacrilegious to say. I'm going to say I'm not happy with him just to try and fire him up. We're going to say the same thing to Saka and a couple of the other boys as well. He's a little bit sacrilegious, as it is to say, a bit like our Harry Kane, or at least it feels like that's what he wants to be. And we just need to find a way to play to his strengths. We've got really good goal scoring around the team. So if our striker isn't the focal point, if our striker, although he's got 15 finishing, I mean, to be fair, his passing isn't even that good. I don't know what he wants to be, but what he wants to be, it isn't working. How quick is he? He's not the quickest as well. That's kind of the problem. So I am going to change into a deep line forward, and we'll just see whether we can get a bit more from him. I have also been setting him to shoot less often, because when he has shot, sometimes he goes a little bit wild with it. So I'm just going to give it a go just to see whether we can calm him down a little bit. But at the moment, he's not having a good game. Neither is Saka, really, which is a bit disappointing. And neither is Kadioglu. I'm actually going to take Kadioglu off of Mazzari, because Mazzari has been playing really well recently. If he was a little better or a little younger, with a bit of potential, I'd sign him in the summer. He's actually, the last few games, not been bad at all. But we'll go for that. Just the one change at half-time. No harm in doing it. Let's see whether we can use it to our advantage, and let's see whether we can get ourselves a winning goal or two. I'd be very happy with just the one, to be honest with you. I'm not really happy with how many shots Leeds are having, but again, Leeds are a top 10 side in this season, so they have been having a good time of it. We just need to try and have a better time of it. I'm going to demand more from the boys. Let's just try and get a few more opportunities on goal, so we can try and kind of knock the door down. Pitchford, again, just not having a good game here, so I think he's going to be coming off. Bit disappointing that he's kind of bottling a cup final. We might just have to write off his end of the season, to be fair. I'm going to put Tell up front. I would bring Villalba on, but he's only just come back from injury. So Martinelli's going to come on. Tell's going to go up front. We'll go with the classic front three that we started the season with before Daniel Pitchford got fit. And we'll go with that for a bit. I'm actually also going to take off Harto. We're getting a lot of yellow cards here, so I am just quite conscious of that. So let me go to Gavi. I can't tell him to not tackle harder because it's literally his position, but I can tell you to not tackle harder. Let's tell him to ease off. And I'm going to say the same to Saliba, which is a bit of a risk with his centre-back, but, you know, it is what it is. Right, change is confirmed. I didn't speak to Martinelli and Satalo before sending them on, but it is what it is. Right, fire the boys up. And then I'll wait till this highlight ends, and then we're going to do a tactical change, I think. Oh, Satalo's made the change immediately. And it's Martinelli with the assist as well. That's beautiful. Oh. How about that? The tactical genius returns. It is literally down to my substitutions. It's a Martinelli corner. It's a Satalo header. It's a second goal. We're leading the FA Cup. Get in there, boys. That is exactly what we wanted to happen. Right. They've just massively changed their formation. So let's just have a double check and see what they're doing. So I'm going to change you. I'm going to press you. I'm going to leave you. You're fine. Joe Bellingham as a striker. That is an interesting proposition. We're going to pop him onto his left foot. Buonanotte, come on. Right, you're going to go onto your... So he can go onto his right foot. And we'll press Onana as well into making a mistake because he's shattered. And we'll go with that. I'm also thinking now we're at 80 minutes. Let's make a couple more changes. Gavi can come off for Declan Rice. So I'm going to actually put him as a ball-winning midfielder on support. And just keep the way that we're playing the same. And I'm looking at those yellow cards for Vigari and Saliba. I'm thinking, I don't have anyone to change, actually, so we can't do anything even if I wanted to, so we're just going to have to hope for the best. I'm going to take off Saka for Odegaard and give Odegaard the final few minutes on the wing, because actually he's played better there than he has as a Mazzala Obviously, playmaker is his preferred position, but he has played quite well there when we've called upon him. So let's just see what we can do. We pressed the defender there really nicely, but we didn't obviously get anything from it. Right, Joe Bellingham as a striker, which I kind of mocked, and I'm kind of regretting that because he could go and just score a goal now, couldn't he? Saka clears it nicely. Looking for Methistel, can't quite find him. Wananote gets it back to Nevada. Passing around here nicely from Leeds United here. They are a good team again. I know I've said it a few times. They are a good team in this universe, so we can't take it for granted, but we do see that attack off quite nicely, although they are coming forward here. Odegaard does some really nice defensive work there. I'm kind of a little bit, for a moment, I was tempted to, I've sorted my issues out with Odegaard now, and I was tempted to offer him a new contract because actually in the last 3 games he's looked good. He has actually looked pretty good, and the temptation to offer him a new contract for a year or 2 was there, but he wants to be a star player, he wants this, he wants that. If he was happy to be a regular starter and reduce his wages, I'd consider it, but he's on so much money for a player who we've barely used this season, admittedly due to quite a serious injury, then, you know, it's a difficult one because there is definitely still something he could offer us, but I think it's probably the right time for him to move on, the right time for us to move on, and we'll just use the wages, try and put it towards a transfer budget, and try and bring in someone who can do the same job. Martinelli's in here. That has got to be 3. It's not. We have been so unlucky in front of goal today. We've got the 2 goals, but we could have had so many more. Right, Rice recycling. It goes back to Satalo. The highlight does end. I think Satalo is going to be the FA Cup match winner here, unless anything dramatic happens, which it very well could. Telly's looking quite tired out there. Not really seen much from some of the other boys, but I think we've probably seen the game out here. Final minute of the added time that's been put on, and there it is. We do win the FA Cup at the first time of asking for Arsenal. Second FA Cup in total. Again, we've won it once with Wolves. This is our a third repeat trophy actually, because we won the Premier League and the Carabao Cup with Wolves. So yeah, really happy with that. Really happy with that. Solid win. Not the most decisive win, I should say, but we've done exactly what's been asked of us, and what's been asked of us is to win a trophy, and we've gone and done that yet again. So now the attention shifts to the big one, which is the Champions League. Don't get me wrong, Leverkusen are probably going to be a bigger challenge than Leeds, but Leverkusen are Leverkusen, and we've beaten bigger teams than them in the Champions League, so I'd like to think that we can kind of get the job done. I'm just concerned about Daniel Pitchford. We need to get better results from him. I think for the next game, I'm just going to put him to advance forward. At the start of the season, he was doing quite well with that, so I think we just go back to that and don't bother with him as a complete forward, even though he's technically better as a complete forward. I think we're just going to do that. Yeah. Executive decision is going to be an advance forward. I'm going to start him again because he's technically our best striker. Or do we put Tell up front and start Martinelli after that last game? There's a few things I need to think about. I'm going to have a think about them. I'll come back for the final of the Champions League and we'll work out what we're going to do. I'm so cross. I'm so cross. This game just knows how to just give you a gut punch. So we've lost the midfield I was going to use for the game. I was going to play McCray. Hasn't played for the last couple of games. I wanted just to give him a couple of games off because he wasn't looking at his best, but I thought give him a few games off and he'll be good. No, out the game. And then Noah Darvic, who played really well in the last game and scored the equaliser, he's injured as well. So McRae's out. Now I am actually going to start Martin Odegaard as the playmaker. Paniagua didn't do that well in the FA Cup final. I'm not going to push him too hard. Let's go with the old head. Let's give him the chance to play in the Champions League final in his final game for the club. Noah Darvic, though, this is the biggest loss. He's going to have to play, but to be honest, it concerns me having to play him because he doesn't like big games. Does not like big games. So we're taking a risk with him. As for the final spot, I am going to fill it, but it's going to be with one of the youngsters, I think. I don't know necessarily who it will be with. There's a couple of views. It could be Luis Diaz. He's actually been okay. He was 1.5 star. He's now 1 star, but he's got a lot of potential. There's a couple of good ones that I've used, to be fair, recently. One of them was, it wasn't Charles, it was, where is he? It's going to be nearer the top, I think. What was his name? I've forgotten what his name was. There's one central midfielder who I used who looked a little bit handy as well, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember what his name is. He was an under 21, I believe. So let me search it on that. Oh, it's Sean Healy. Yeah, he's got an assist for us. He's nothing special, but he's got a little bit more about him right now, and he looks comfortable on the ball. So I'm tempted to kind of go with Healy, or let me just. I'm going to do Diaz. I've decided. Let's go with him. Diaz. It is going to be. Swap them round. I went with Diaz. We're going to go with Diaz. He's going to go on the bench. He's not going to play more than likely, but let's just have him on there just for a bit of experience. But this is going to be the 11 that we're going to end up using as a result of those injuries for the Champions League final. It is Owusu Oduro in goal, Kadioglu, Saliba, Satalo and Ruggieri in defence. Yes, Satalo has made the cut. Hato drops to the bench. Gavi, Odegaard and Waneri as our heavily rotated midfield, and then we have Saka and Tel supporting Pitchford up front. Bayer Leverkusen, by the way, finished in second place in the Bundesliga. If we just have a quick double check of the league table, you can see it was only by 2 points. They're a good team. I know I was talking a bit of smack before, but they're clearly a good team. But they're only 4 points ahead of Leipzig. And we beat Leipzig on the way to this final. We beat them 5-0 over 2 legs. So consider that as well. Right, the time for talking is over. Champions League final o'clock. Ladies, gents, and those who identify as anything other than those. It is Champions League o'clock. And let's see what we can do. By the way, they're managed by Zinedine Zidane. Didn't know that. Bit more concerned now. Bit more concerned. Also, this Hoyenhal guy, I've had a new gen by that name before. I think this is one of the ones that's built into the game that does kind of come up every now and then. Obviously, you can't ever guarantee what type of player it is. I'm sure he's a new gen. I've definitely used a player of that name before, and he was excellent for me. That also concerns me. And I've also looked to try and sign him in this save anyway, but he's cost so much money that it's just not possible. So, again, mildly a little bit concerned. I've also just realised I've done no player instructions, so I'm going to have to do that now. So just give me one moment. Okay, instructions done. Here we go. Champions League final. There is our 11. Odegaard will be captaining us for the final time. Declan Rice, of course, on the bench. He will more than likely get some football again for the final time before he moves on to Barcelona. And there is their 11. Same formation as us. We could cancel each other out. We have got a couple of formations that we can use to make things interesting if we feel like we need to. Right. The time for talking is over. Champions League final. Let's see whether we can win our first Champions League of the save and Arsenal second in their history. Let's see if we can do it. Been all over them at the beginning, although they are definitely picking up the yellow cards, although we've now picked up an early one as well with Saliba. So a bit of a bad-tempered one in the first 15 minutes, it has to be said. No chances so far from the looks of things until I said it, which of course is what spawns a chance in the game. We are all over them on match momentum. We've had a couple of shots. It's looking like it's probably a bit of a scrappy game at this point, but the longer it goes while we do not score, the more chance there is that they'll hit us with a gut punch, which I am, I'll be honest, fully expecting. Odegaard really having a poor game out there, so I think Paniagua is going to be very close to coming on at half time. The front three also not having a good time. We are pretty much just cancelling each other out here. Their right back is having a game at the moment compared to everyone else. Like, it is very much probably the most boring Champions League final so far, although they've just had an injury. And we have our first highlight. It's with us in possession, defending. Right, Tel doesn't get there. He's tackled off the ball. I've got a bad feeling about this. Right, here come Leverkusen. Scarpa into Milton, into Scarpa. Lovely 1-2. And it is 1-0 to Leverkusen. It's 1-0 to Leverkusen at the end of the first half that we've dominated. What did I say? The longer we go without putting the ball in the back of the net, the more chance there is that they'll hit us with a counter punch. What a 1-2 that is, by the way. Scarpa, he scarpered through there and he's gone and made it 1-0. I'm shouting at the boys and changing the formation because I think we are cancelling each other out to a degree. We've had the better of it and then we've switched off. I'm going to point the finger, go with that one. Right. You two, what the heck's been going on there? Because you've not done anything. Odegaard, furious. He's coming off, actually. I've made that decision right now in my head. You two, not happy. You, calm yourself down. You, not happy. And then you, say let's try and jump them up. Right. changes are plenty. Give me a moment. Yeah, this is me just going for it at this point. We've made 3 changes. Declan Rice is coming on in defensive mid. Martinelli is coming on as an additional striker. And Paniagua is coming on for Odegaard. We're going without wingers. We're going with wing backs. I am only going with 2 defenders, but Declan Rice will be there to marshal them. He will stay in front of the defence. So we'll in effect have a 3. And Paniagua and Waneri will continue doing what they're doing. Well, Paniagua's coming on, so he's going to start doing what he's doing. But Waneri is going to continue doing what he's been doing, which has not been that bad, to be fair. So Pitchford's going to stay on for the moment. I can bring on Villalba if I feel like I need to. We'll just see how we go with this. I think actually Pitchford is going to go there, and we'll have Tell and Martinelli on the outsides because they can kind of drift around if needed. So we'll go for it. I mean, it's a big thing to do, but I kind of want to go for it now because we've been all over them. It's not really worked. So let's just try and batter them down a bit with a bit more aggressive play because we've been all over them anyway, and they got us with a counter punch. So let's just see what we can do to try and get past them, although the momentum in the second half has kind of started with them, which is a little bit of a concern, although it's swing back now, which is good to see. Right, come on boys, they're having chances though. They're having chances. Have I just made a big blunder by going 2 attacking? Because if we'd have stayed as we are, we'd have kept having chances, and if we keep having chances, we've got a great chance of getting a goal. Have I made a really bad decision now? I don't know. We've just won the ball back. Saliba now has it. He's waiting for Saka to make a run. Saka's moved to wing back. He can do that job quite well on the left-hand side. Oh, my word. That's so poor. That is so poor. And it's 2-0. Oh, I've ballsed it up. I've ballsed it up, haven't I? I have. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. We need to make a very quick course correction here because we're 2 down and we need to do something. Oh, I can't believe I thought this was a good idea, actually. Right, well, okay, we're going to go 3-4-3, which we have used before. This isn't as much of a risk. We have used this before, but I've got it here ready just with 2 strikers. So let me move you here. Oh, no, I don't want to swap you 2 around. I want to move you in the middle. Move you here. Complete forward. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to change you 2 to deep line forwards because you can do the job. Keep Tell a complete forward, actually. Saka can go there on the right side. Kadioglu can go there. We'll keep these 2 in the middle. Waneri is going to come off, though, for Harto, actually. And we'll move Declan Rice back into the midfield. And we'll go with that. I mean, this is, if we do end up losing this, it's on me and my tactical kind of, I don't even know what the word is, but I've been way too kind of fast to try and go full attacking. If we'd have stayed as we are, we'd have been fine. And I've jumped the gun, is what I've done. Right, we start with a highlight from kickoff. And in my experience, this a lot of the time ends up in a goal for the team who's kicked off. So let's see whether it will. Right, Saliba goes to Saka. And we change the shape again to a shape that is not the one we started the game with. Right, Paniagua to Saliba. We know this system has got goals in it, so we just need to get forwards. We need to start kind of going forward, though, guys, if we can. Right, Satalo is in the middle of the defence to Paniagua, playmaker. Right, into Martinelli. Pitchford waiting, gets it to Tell. What a ball that is to Methis Tell. And that is a goal back. We have a goal back in the Champions League final. Pitchford did a really good job there. Full credit to him for finding this ball. And even though his passing and vision aren't the best, this is what I mean. He does this little Harry Kane thing where he drops deep and he just has the ability to ping the ball and find someone. And he did it there. And Methis Tell, who has been a hero this season, has been great, with an absolutely brilliant run cutting in, makes it 2-1. And I'm going to demand more from the boys. More of the same. Let's carry on. Carry on with that, please, lads. Another one, and we're back in it. Come on. Need to see a bit more from Saka and Kadioglu at the moment. They're not really doing a lot. Not really doing a lot at all. I'm going to do that, and we're going to try and overlap. I'm going to overlap on the right. We'll just try and get Saka into the game a little bit more down this side, but we start with a highlight with Dortmund in possession, but we win the ball back actually quite quickly. Right, ball to Tell. He loses it. He loses it. And here come Leverkusen again. We need to get the ball off of them here, lads. Shot just wide. Okay, it's not threatening us, but we need to get possession. We're running out of time here as well. Right, fire the boys up. We have got a couple of changes. Well, one change I think actually that we can make, but I don't know what that change would be, so I'll have to have a think about that. Right, Paniagua with the ball gets to Saliba. Saliba chipping it forward to Pitchford, can't quite get there, but Saka keeps the ball in possession of Arsenal here. Paniagua now into the box. He's got players with him. Got to get it to someone. He's got to get it to someone. He's trying to do it all himself there, Paniagua, and he's giving possession away. Declan Rice does really well to win it back though, but the highlight ends. And now we have a highlight with a goal kick from Hoyenhal. Right, Telly's looking shattered. It's recommending Villalba. I mean, to be fair, Martinelli hasn't had the best of games, but I did bring him on as a sub, so I don't feel like I can necessarily take him off. Right, big ball forward here. Getting caught out a bit by our formation a little bit. Right, we need to get the ball. Oh, my word. Right. I'm going to step up. Let's give them less room to work with. And Satale's had a really poor game. I mean, I can bring on Sardea or Laskowski as defenders, or I can bring Declan Rice there, and then I need to bring on another midfielder, but I don't have another midfielder to bring on. So I think Declan Rice, to be fair, he's doing a good job in that midfield, so I won't do that. I'll bring Laskowski on. I don't have another option. It's purely from lack of other options. Awuso Dura's had a really, really poor game here. A really poor game. But yeah, we'll go with that. We're going to have to. It's a big thing for him. Like, so young, and he's coming on in the Champions League final when we're chasing a goal. And they go attacking as well. Right. Possession for Leverkusen. Let's try and get the ball off of them as quickly as possible. This Scarpa guy really has done a number on us. Right. Get the ball off of him, please, lads. Right. Awuso Dura gets it. Let's get it out. Come on. Quicken that pace up. Awuso Dura. Balls it out to Harter. He's got no one with him now. It's a bit of a problem. Right, Laskowski. Pass to Declan Rice. He scuffed it a bit because he was in a bit of an awkward position there. This has got 3-1 written all over it. Oh, my word. It's hit the post. Full crossbar. Right. Right. Come on. We're running out of time here. We are running out of time. This will be all on me. If we lose this, this is all on me. Tactically, it's completely my error. Right. We go a bit more direct for the final few minutes. Try and hit a few early crosses in. We are running out of time. I think that's it. I think Leverkusen have won it. Yeah, they've been dominating in that final few minutes as well. I did that. I know I did that. Well, no, to be fair, we were 1-0 down at half-time with the system that we normally use anyway. And we could have stayed as we were, and Leverkusen could have continued absorbing pressure and hit us with a counter-punch anyway. So I think rolling the dice was the right thing to do. Going to the 3-4-3 definitely helped because we got a goal, but then we just couldn't capitalise on it. As the game went on, the pressure got to us and we just let them back into it, and that stopped us from having chances. Pitchford and Tell did really well there. Everyone else kind of let themselves down a little bit. So ultimately what that means is we do win a domestic treble. I'm going to shout at them because actually I am disappointed because we should be beating Leverkusen. And we do win a domestic treble. It's not been a failure of a season, but it does mean two things. Number one, we've got work to do next season in terms of getting us to the point where we need to win the Champions League next season. Number two, it means that we don't need to worry about what to do, because if we'd have won, I mean, I'll be honest, I was talking beforehand like we'd already won the trophy. If we had won it today, we'd have had to decide what to do, because really, by the rules of the save as dictated in the first episode, we'd need to move on to another club. So I will take another season at Arsenal because I think there is definitely work to do. But I kind of wish it wasn't Leverkusen. I wish it was like a Real Madrid. But it's fine. We'll go again next season. We'll try and get to the final again, and then we'll see whether the gods are with us. We'll have a look around at players as well. I mean, Alvaro Rodriguez looked a bit tasty in that game. I don't know how good he actually is. He does look quite good, although he's injury prone, so maybe we won't look at him. We'll have a look and see what we can do. Transfer-wise, again, money-wise, it's not a lot of money that we've got to work with. But bear in mind, of course, we have got 2 big earners in the form of Declan Rice, and also, in fact, let me do it by this. It's our 4th and 5th biggest earners. It's Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard. It's like £600,000 we're going to be getting back on the wage budget. In terms of our finances after that, still doesn't look great, but it will sort of reset at the end of the season. I'm sure it will work itself out. As you can see, our wage budget at the moment is that. It's going to be that. We're going to end up with, obviously, a fair bit of money on there, which hopefully what we can then do is just chuck the remainder of it over to here, and that can just up the money a little bit, because we need to definitely spend some money, and then we can have a look at what we're going to do transfer-wise. But that is going to do it for today's video. Bittersweet. We win the FA Cup. We don't win the Champions League. I think I'd rather it been the other way around, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. I will be back in the next video for the transfer special, and we'll see what we can do to try and get Arsenal from the very good level it is right now to the elite level of winning the Champions League, and hopefully we can achieve that next season. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, hit that like button for me and hit that subscribe button as well, so you don't miss any of the future content coming from the channel. My name is Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.